So then, welcome back. I forget what number video I'm up to now. All I've done since the last video is I've removed the two bolts for the subframe, and I've left all the electrics connected, and all I've done is I've tipped the subframe right over, got a bit of a rag on there to protect the stock, and it's just resting up there nicely. I'm not fouling anything, and the loom just is nice and flexible and bends round, and that will increase my access down to the back of it, as I said in the last video, and will help me with the cleaning and getting all the shit out. Next up, I'm going to take the hugger off, take the wheel off, chain guard off, and then I'm going to start cleaning with the back end. So stick around, probably make for a bit of interesting watching, watching me struggle with this. So yeah, let's see how we get on. First thing I'm going to do then is I need a 10 and a 12mm spanners, and I'm just going to undo, I don't even know if you can see it from where you are, but I'm just going to undo the adjustment nuts on there just so I can wind it in a bit and give us a bit of play before we take the axle out. There we go. So that's the 12 and the 10. So all I'm going to do now is just wind it in, and I'll do exactly the same on the other side, and that will let me move the wheel back and forward to unhook it off the chain when I come to undo it. So they're all nice and loose. All I'm going to do now then is undo the axle nut, slide the axle out, and the wheel will be nice and free. We'll unhook the chain and drop the wheel out the back of it. So it's important when you take this off that you keep all your spacers and all your bits in a decent order, so you can find them all and you know exactly the way to put them back on. Just loosen that off a bit. Before we move the wheel off, just unhooking the chain from the sprocket, slide the wheel back a bit so I know I'm clear. Axle comes out, the caliper will fall away more than likely when I bring this out. Keep a hold of it just so it doesn't damage my wheel. Bit of a fiddle. There we go. Caliper out the way. Get on there. And let's make sure that chain's off. Okay, so wheel out the way then. And again, it's got spacers either side. What I do with these is I remove them from the wheel. I keep them in the same orientation, and I put everything back on as if it was all assembled, so I know exactly which order in which they go back on when I come to reassemble it. Let's pop that up out the way, nice and safe. Now all I'm going to do is just take the rear hugger off, and I believe it's 3 10mm bolts. There's one at the top and one on the inside on either side. Again, I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing at. A bit more. And as always, it's important that you keep your nuts and bolts in a place where you can find them later on. We've also got this little clip here as well, didn't see that. Little slidey clip for the brake line. Just undo that. Hugger comes off. It'll go away in the box for cleaning, ready for reassembling. Next then, I'm going to take the caliper off the carrier, because I'm going to clean my brakes out and inspect them as well, and I'm going to remove the foot pegs as well, just so I can clean all the crap out of them. We'll start with the foot pegs. So that's a Allen head, don't know what size, so forgive me. Okay, it's about that size, if that helps. So just be careful when you're doing stuff like this that you don't damage your powder coating and stuff on your frame with your tools. I know people that go to a bit of extremes with this and cover everything in blankets and towels and all that kind of stuff. My bike's just been through a hedge, so to be honest, I'm not really that bothered. I just want to get it back up and running nice and clean. I can see a lot of grass down there as well, all stuck inside in there. Didn't have to bring the forest on with me, did I? That's them cracked off. All I'm going to do now is run the bolts out. I'll do the same on the other side. I'm going to remove the other side first, because this side requires a little bit more attention as everything here is attached. to the rear brake. The other side just comes off freely. Spine again. As always, got some bolts in a place where you can find them later, and so you know what they belong to. So with this one, all I'm going to do is undo it. I'm not going to mess about. Could do, couldn't I? Yeah, we'll remove the entire rear brake assembly. Is that an 8mm? I think that. So the bracket that holds the lining, it looks like it's an 8mm socket. I might be wrong. We'll sharp find out though, won't we? Yeah, 8mm socket for that. And with this one, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the bracket back in a few threads with the nut, so it says a visual prompt. Put that on. I'm always forgetting little weird stuff like that. The rear brake cylinder appears to be, I don't know if I can remove that. I don't want to start messing about too much with the switches and that, because it just starts becoming a bit of a nose when I reassemble it, so I'm doing this as I go, so excuse me for a minute. So on here we've got, just behind what I'm looking at the minute is the electrical switch, and I'm looking for a connection in which to undo, so I can remove the pot and the lever as one, just to keep it all together, and the caliper in line as well, rather than just connecting everything. You can see a connection inside. White connection, I've just followed the line up, and yeah, it's come out nice and easy, so I'll just pull the line through, making sure we're careful with it. That's that. This looks like an 8mm and a 10mm that holds the pot on, so I'll see if I can get that off. Yeah, the nut is welded to the bracket, which is good news. I'm going to run the nut. Sorry, I'm going to run the bolt back into the nut. A couple of threads again. I'm not keeping a box with one nut in it. So now this whole assembly should be ready to remove in one go. So I'll run the rest of these out. Start with that one. That's one out. I'm going to again, keep them in a place where you can find them later. I'll move that one and keep all this together in one place anyway. If I can. I don't really like pressing the brake lever when there's nothing there in case I pop my pots out. Should be alright. That lever will keep that in place. And there we go, one brake assembly, all in one piece. And I'm just going to pop this one out of the way somewhere. I'm running out of room in here for bits of bike. So give me a second if you don't mind. Pop that up there. So I don't know if it's going to make any difference, but when I'm taking brakes apart and taking the whole system off like I have done there, when I put it down for storage, what I like to do is keep it in an orientation as it would be on the bike. So the master cylinder would be above everything else, just to prevent air coming back through, or air from the cylinder finding its way through the brake system. Might be unlikely, it might not be, but I always keep them in that orientation anyway. So next off is going to be the can. At the minute it's a standard can that's on there. I did have another one on there, I've still got it in the cupboard. I had to take it off for the MOT as it failed because it was too loud. So he was quite happy to give me a cautionary for a loud exhaust, but this one, the one that I had on, it was a Scorpion carbon can. It was too loud, and to be fair, it was pretty loud as well. So that's the next thing off, is the exhaust, held on by 3 13mm bolts, I believe, and the clamp. I think that's all that holds this on. So you undo the bolts, undo the clamp, and it just pretty much slides off out of its mounting, and that'll give me a bit more room as well for cleaning. So that's how she's looking at the minute. It doesn't look like we're getting anywhere, but I actually feel like we've come on a great deal. In fact, next off is going to be the chain guard, and again that's a couple of 10mm, I believe, and a push clip. There's 2 10mm on this. There's one on the inside just down here somewhere. Yeah, that's it, it's a puppy. I'm sure it was no, it's an 8 in it. There, get with it. One, that's that one. 2. And usually once you crack these ones off, you can just run these out by hand. As always, nuts and bolts in a place where you can find them later. And the push clip as well. It's a large one, so usually what I do to remove these push clips is I just use the end of an Allen key, push them in halfway, and then as I remove the item, the push clip comes with it. He says. There we go. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the push clips, if you've got older bikes and you've never used these before, when you place them in, You place a coupling in first, and then you'll place your pin in. Wrong, no you won't. You'll place them together so everything sits flush like that. Then you'll place that into the item, into the hole, and as you push that down, all it does is expand the back and keep it locked into place. And when you're removing them, if you push the button through and just push it through halfway, the insides close up, and it allows you, let me get the right part, it's about there. Yeah, the insides will close up again with that button pushed in a bit, and will allow you to remove it and retain the pin as well. If you push it too far, there is always a chance, especially with like ones that are into your frame, that you will push all the way through and the pin will end up inside your frame and you've lost it. They're not dear to replace, just annoying. So there we go. Again, keep it in a place where we can find it for a later date. So where was we? Exhaust. Right, exhaust is a bit of a pain in the arse because I've got to lie down on the floor, and I don't really want to, but I need to get cracking with this. But I'm going to show you the mountings anyway. There's one there, and there's one on the other side around here and around here, and both of them two are on the other side. Then we've also got this bracket here, which you undo, and then the whole unit will slide off. So yeah, so come back once I've done that, and I think when I get the bike back on the road I'm going to put my other can back on it anyway, because I like a bit of noise every now and then. So see you soon. So here we go. I've removed the 3 mounting bolts. There they are on there. That's what they look like when they're out. They're not that long. And I've also loosened off the clamp there. So now hopefully the whole unit should move as one when I come to pull it off. So let's see what happens. Hopefully hopefully it'll come off. There's a lot of shit in there. The bike's moving quite a bit. Quite paranoid. No wheels on it. But yeah, we'll come in. There's a lot of packing in this as well. I think the first time I took it off from standard, it was filled with all sorts of packing, because that's a weird, it's a weird size pipe. And you've got to buy special link pipes for your aftermarket cans and that, which are for this particular bike. There we go. And that's the cat and the exhaust removed. Just a point of interest with this, catalytic converters were fitted for the reduce of emissions in the UK, but bikes don't get tested on emissions in the UK. It's not part of any kind of MOT or anything like that, or doesn't affect the taxation class. Now this is a 750, and it is, to be fair, it is pretty slow. We took it onto the dyno when I got it down to Turbo Packs in Durham. The guy down there does, loves his bike. I think his name's Mark. Loves his bikes. Does track days, races, and everything. Really, really good bloke. And on Saturdays, he usually opens his workshop up, and lads go down there and they put the bikes on the dyno for you know, top speed or a horsepower run or whatever. And you know, he does it. He doesn't charge us anything. He just does it because he loves the bikes. Absolutely mega bloke, and gets to thrash everybody's bike on the dyno. So you know, he has got a bit in it for himself. Anyway, a couple of weeks after I got it, left it standard, didn't do anything to it. Same plugs, same everything that it came with when I bought it. Put it on the dyno, and it was. What did it get? I can't remember exactly. I think it was something around 107 horsepower at the rear wheel, which for a 750 isn't really that good. It's not, you know, it's not terrible. There are bikes out there that are worse. It's not terrible, but it's pretty bloody poor. A mate of mine, 600, was thrashing this, absolutely thrashing this in horsepower. All I did to it the next time I went down is I just took this off and I put a different can on, and we ran it again, and I think I got an increase up to 119 horsepower. So they do sap a bit of the energy, a bit of the power out of it, but at the same time with this on, it is very torquey. So I'm happy with that. I'm not sure, I'm in two minds whether to keep it on or put my other can on, but we'll see when we come back to rebuilding it. So that's the exhaust removed, and again, all it's done is give me a bit of better access for when I start cleaning. I'm just looking for somewhere to put this. I'll have to go onto my chair. Right, so there we are. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to strip down that rear wheel. I'm going to take the sprocket off the cush drive, and I'm going to take the disc off as well, just so I can clean that wheel and inspect it properly, and same with the disc, so I can inspect them for warpage and all that. And then the next video is purely going to be cleaning. I am not stripping the bike down any further. So we'll get it all cleaned, and then we will get it all rebuilt. Hopefully my fairings shouldn't be too much longer. I know I keep saying this, but I mean they will take a while. As I said in the aftermath video, I've got to go with China fairings, fairings from China obviously, because I'm absolutely skint and I can't afford OEM fairings. I really can't afford it at £40 a piece, you know, for a tiny little piece of it. And I was looking on eBay, not last night, night before, for one of these rubbers, which your nose cone sits over, and the mirrors and that mount into that. And I think someone was wanting like 20 odd quid for a rubber of that size. People are taking the piss out of me. But if you need one, you need one. I might try and make one. Might not be very good, but I'll give it a go before I spend 20 quid on a piece of fucking rubber, because that's just fucking ridiculous, and I think you'll agree. But yeah, that's what we're up to. Bike is as stripped down as it's going to get now. I'm not going to strip it any further. This is my daughter's toolbox, by the way. I've been using it to rest the camera on. Yes, my daughter has a toolbox. But that's where we are. So next video I'm going to start cleaning. I'm going to start with the front brakes. So I'm going to strip down the front brakes completely, get all the road gunk out of there. Yeah, and I'll put that, I'll reassemble them, put them back together, and then video by video I'll be cleaning different parts of the bike. So not all that thrilling until the new kit gets here. But thanks very much for watching. Thank you for your support. I'm open to comments and suggestions, so please, in the box below, you got anything you want to see me do. I don't do chicken dance, but pretty much anything else I'm open to. So yeah, please leave a comment, please like, please subscribe, and who knows, we might even have some fun when we get riding with this. So cheers, and see you next time.